Are you bored and feeling lost? Then you're in the right place because it's June, and in this video, you'll get the top 5 innovations for the iPhone 16 Pro. I have summarized everything for you, listed the pros and cons and what you could really expect. So if you're interested, stay tuned. My name is Oliver. Welcome to the Smartphone Blogger channel. Welcome back. Cool to have you back with us. Okay, hands on heart. Yes, there are 4 new iPhones in the iPhone 16 series, but which devices are we talking about? Right, in the end, always talking about the Pro models, even though the base models always make good progress. Sufficient reason to examine now in the month of June what is coming with the iPhone 16 professional models. This series is now available every month, so you can keep track of what's really trending and what's not. So I would just say, let's get started. Okay, let's finally talk about the size. Okay, not the size you might be thinking of. We're talking about the display size. In the regular Pro model, the size now goes up from 6.1 to 6.3 inches, from 6.7 to 6.9 inches in the Pro Max model. And that's quite a lot, because honestly, I already find 6.7 inches very large. If this whole thing gets bigger now, well, I'm not sure yet, but Apple wouldn't be Apple if this entire ratio also becomes pleasant, because the smartphone won't be that big after all, meaning the increase in display size is being attempted to be compensated for by the device itself. This means the display borders could become thinner, and as a result, the grip in the hand may not be so negative. Another piece of information that we have now acquired is that the maximum screen brightness when utilizing HDR is 1600 nits. Manually, the whole thing goes up to 1200, and yes, honestly, those are not top values. And here I am a bit disappointed because competitors like OnePlus, for example, are well above 4000, and that could somehow also be achieved. Why isn't this being done? I don't know. Maybe they are just focusing on the durability of the devices, and that might lead to not wanting to push to the maximum. But with the Apple Watch Ultra 2, they have already reached 2000 nits. So a bit disappointing on one hand, but Apple does Apple things. That's how it is and will always be. Certainly there will also be a completely new chip, which is actually update number 2. The Apple Bionic A Pro delivers a powerful and impressive punch in terms of performance and efficiency. Well, so the 3 nanometers chip in the A Pro, we've already encountered that, so there will be no changes in this aspect. But the new chip has a significant advantage as the NPU has been ramped up again and an important goal has been achieved. One really wants to get the AI on the phone done well, and for that you need extremely high computing power on the device. And that's exactly where the A Pro comes in again. Of course, one could now throw around numbers, but with Apple, I would always explain that with a 20% increase and things like that. In the end, it's all about the device being fast enough to handle the AI applications. Not only the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max could be cool, but it would also be promising if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I would like to reach subscribers. I can only achieve this with your help. Your subscription is free, it supports me, and maybe you even have a thumbs up and your opinion on the iPhone 16 Pro models. Feel free to write it in the comments. And before I become a nuisance, let's continue. What you may not necessarily always notice with the processor, you might notice with the camera. And here Apple has set itself some ambitious goals and really wants to improve. Perhaps the first and most important update for many of you. The 5-fold optical zoom is now also coming to the regular Pro model. In the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I was kind of the classic victim because the 15 Pro would have been enough for me, but I wanted that 5-fold optical zoom. Zach spent more money, ended up in the Pro Max. Now though, it's coming down to the Pro version, and honestly, I think that's really good. This probably had reasons before with the size of the device, and thus the 5x optical symbol was allegedly only possible in the Pro Max. I believe that because I was also the victim, they simply wanted to earn more money. Something that has now also been taken care of is the ultra-wide-angle camera, which will be equipped with a higher number of megapixels to achieve even better shots. I find that important as well. But there are apparently further advancements in terms of megapixels in the telephoto camera. It seems that Apple is stepping up here as well. This means we will get a significant camera update in the Pro Max and also in the Pro model, which honestly I didn't expect, as they could have just relied on the 5-fold optical zoom now that they are bringing it to the Pro model as well. So I think Apple, even though it's not a huge leap forward, I think it's good that they worked on the camera itself again. The fourth highlight, which I didn't quite expect, is that the battery will be larger, at least in the Pro Max, which is generally known for its long battery life. And there is another advancement as well, but let's briefly talk about numbers because the battery in the Pro Max is increased from 4,441 mAh to 4,667 mAh, and that is a significant increase. Yes, it is not quite at the S Ultra level yet, for instance, where we are discussing over 5,000 mAh, but Apple possesses iOS, and iOS is highly energy efficient, so perhaps battery capacity is not as crucial, but as this entire thing expands here, we can anticipate a greater battery life in the future. But there is another highlight, as it features a stainless steel casing that enhances heat dissipation and battery durability. And as you all know, when devices get warm, they naturally lose performance because the whole process generates heat, which is not good for the device. By decreasing it currently, the performance will be even better, even though we have the new processor that provides additional power. So you notice at first you think, okay, good, but in the next moment, this could be a gigantic boost for Apple, showing that they have really worked on the battery technology here. Again, I have to put the whole thing into perspective. The Honor Magic 6 Pro, which I have also tested on my channel, features a new battery technology with 5,600 mAh without the device becoming significantly heavier. This enables maximum battery life, so actually an additional 1,000 mAh compared to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. But now let's move on to the last highlight, and this one is definitely eye-catching. We're talking about the titanium frame. It was already a highlight in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. One of the few highlights that one did get. But here a change has been made as the frame is switched from a brushed to a polished surface, resulting in a smoother and glossier appearance. Honestly, I don't really like the smooth finish, but I honestly prefer this shiny look because when I compared the iPhone 13 Pro to the 15 Pro, the 13 Pro still seemed a bit more high quality to me, as this shine personally represents more value to me. But there have also been some changes in the color combinations as the introduction of the rose color replaces the previous blue, which I have been using, along with the classic options like black, white, silver, and natural titanium. And I'm not sure if I might not really get myself rose because it's an absolute eye-catcher and it's just that special color. Despite the fact that it may be a little unconventional, I personally am extremely enthusiastic about it. By the way, the action button has now also been added to the base 16 models, and there is an additional feature as both iPhone 16 Pro models will receive an extra camera shutter button in addition to the existing ones. And this is supposed to lead to additional camera functionality options, which I just mentioned, because they have also broken it down on the hardware side. This could make the whole thing even more camera-centric. I'm not sure how many people will actually end up using that, but like with the action button, it's another feature. And to be honest, I'm also a bit surprised that Apple is now adding more buttons to its devices. Wasn't the goal to make everything slim and elegant? The buttons somehow stick out and are always a point for errors and problems on a smartphone. Well, you can see that's quite a lot that could be changed. Feel free to write your opinion in the comments and maybe also your favorite feature that you are looking forward to. I look forward to having you with me again in the next video. So stay healthy, take care, see you soon, your smartphone blogger.